Hi, and welcome to our energy forecast for 2024. I'm Rael, and I channel energy and information from our guides and ancestors to help support us in how we choose to use our energy moving forward and to help us be able to navigate our future energies in a way that is both authentic and empowering to ourselves. So, the energies that we have moving into the new year are going to be largely positive and moving forward. We have a beautiful emotional flow energy that's coming in. Our purpose and our way of delivering in the world, our service and how we are meant to be in this world is becoming not only faster and more specific and accurate, but it's also asking of that delivery from us. So from a career and a what am I meant to do with my life kind of focus, that's going to be really increased for most of us here this year. Another of the primary energies is around non-judgment. And the beauty behind this is that we are more authentic in what we are seeing and feeling and knowing about ourselves. And that self-responsibility and awareness removes the need to be judging others' position and places or ourselves unless we find that we are getting given offered opportunities, such as triggers, right? To discover the whys. And again, self-responsibility will move you through that much, much quicker. Another one of the energies is around boundaries and the fact that boundaries will be less confronting moving into this year. That we will be, again, that authenticness, right? We will be able to have and verbalize and find boundaries that we need, but also be able to appreciate and accept boundaries from other people. And so less of that resistance energy or rejection energy that's coming in. And for us, less anger and resistant emotions, because when a boundary is crossed, that's often one of the ways we notice that that's happened. So that will be refreshing as well. Earth movements in the physical and increase in the water energies. Last year, it was spectacular to feel the water around the world coming alive and the movement and conversations around that. And this year it feels like it's going to make itself known. So get in the water, be in the water, speak to your water, right? And see what's going to come into you for that. If I look at it from a timeline perspective, I would say that the very beginning of the year, there is a small pause, there is a small holding energy. And if you're lucky, you might get about 3 weeks before it begins to just roll forward and move us forward. So if you do release work or grounding at any point in your birthday, but the new year is where we're speaking, is allow that release, see what feels like it can move, or ask you guys to just remove what you're done with and to support you in releasing patterns that are attached to those from where you learned them, and let that release so that you're integrating the new pieces that have come in the water and the solar energy and the collective consciousness growth in the last year that we are now going to be applying in this beautiful 2024. And then this conversation about our compass. What is your path? What is the best version of you navigating your way through? And I think that if you are aware of your compass, the way that your intuition shares with you where your energy is best spent or shows you in the physical where you might get resistance points or pushback or more learning, then paying attention to that also means that you will be choosing the easier routes and you'll be going, oh, this one feels quite intense when I think about signing up for this course or lease or choosing to have a conflict conversation with somebody, which is important and necessary, but today, now, immediately versus how does your body show you 2 days' time? Being allowed to use that to navigate your choice points very actively will mean that not only can the pieces in your fate line, I suppose, that you guys have kind of placed ready, not only are they in line and moving straight through them, so they happen so quickly and effortlessly, but equally you're avoiding kind of going sideways where you're not meant to be and then having to move everything in alignment with that, which takes time. And we have had 3 years of relative stillness and moving forward in finding soul connections and meeting the tribe or the groups that we are supposed to be working with. And so we don't want any more, well, most people don't want any more slowness. It's time to get on with what we're here to do. And that will be being you. That will be expanding the heart energy and allowing yourself to enjoy and bask what is around you and to hold space and send love and appreciation for any hardship or triggers that you find or witness for other people, allowing that sacredness of the journey that they're in to be sacred, but not feeling like you should also sit in their experience or journey because that's not where you're meant to be or it would be your journey. So rolling that back into your experience, if you're feeling great, if you're feeling love, if you're wanting to play, please do. Joy, play, doing with your body what makes you feel like you're home, whether that is walking or dancing, having a quick nap in the day, gardening, being around color, painting, creativity, singing, stimming, like getting this energy out of your body when you need to emotionally regulate. All of these things are going to not only increase your energy and deactivate your parasympathetic system, your fight flight, right? So that your nervous system is not in anxiety and overdrive. That you will feel calmer. You will feel more settled. You'll sleep better. And you'll make better choices about what to eat and drink and how to move as well. And when to go slow, when your body's telling you there's more energy and when your body's telling you it needs nutrients to give more energy or it's perhaps when I look at the health codes, like it feels as if we are getting some kind of new alternate healing energy. So if your body is saying, oh, that's a bit sore, something's just been triggered or sprained in a ligament or something, then, well, what nutrient do you feel your body's calling for if it's allowed that to show to you? And reach for it, because it might be that there's a new vibration there for you to be accepting, moving into, or exploring, because then there's going to be a new way for your body to be and a new feeling on the planet. So also in line with those health and innovations and extra, it feels like the knowledge is coming from deep, deep within our collective consciousness or from the Akashic records, like the knowledge of how we're going to be healing ourselves and how we're going to be bringing information onto the planet for medical innovations and being allowed to apply energy, healing, and work alongside other modalities so that they can support each other. And that's where something like proof and evidence feels like it's going to come through so they can both be justified and prioritized. But how cool would it be if we had something as simple as the surgeons making decisions about what kind of surgery, checking in with intuitives about timelines or lessons coming up for that person, and you can get ahead of it. You can go, well, this shouldn't be scheduled until June, or this one needs to be done now, and allow some of that to be integrated into our processes and systems. As an example of watching the two of them work together, or finding somebody who has perhaps what's knee issues and being allowed to support that while they're on the waiting list. Why aren't we recommending that they investigate kinesiology, contact care, release work, breath work if it's an inflammation issue, right? And just having people be allowed to mold these things together to better support each other. But the primary energy for health is the self-healing, is very much about how we are moderating what we're saying to each other and how we're treating ourselves so that we are imbibing a cleaner, better energy, but being allowed to let this body grow, right? letting ourselves replicate in this stronger, more loving, more interesting energy, and those strengths coming through. A repeat from last year's energy will also be in our brain processing styles. So where we are looking at how our brains like to work, how we function, what strategies we need. And if I put this under the category of our purpose, our career, our destiny work for this coming year, that would make a lot more sense to me, because we are moving into a timeline and a reality where we are contributing what we have to offer. So if you have an analytical mind, then you would want to offer something that organizes, neat, and sees data or missing pieces. Or if you have an innovative mind, or you're in channel for solutions, then you want to be in that kind of strategy or innovations area. If you are heart-centered in a way that you want to have your nurture in the physical, you might be moving into cooking, cleaning, helping, or same as if you were more into how people's minds work, and the healing can be in a very non-emotive perhaps, but pure channel is sometimes, because it's not that it's not emotional, it's just that your emotions aren't involved in the messaging. Then you would go much more into the mentoring and leadership, possibly psychiatry, and the kinds of roles where you are not only supporting people to find their own way, but you're also voicing observations on where their repeated patterns, their self-sabotage might be, or an awareness on pieces they might be missing about themselves and strengths. So very much people moving into following their compass, they're listening to themselves, people moving into these alignments of offering what they have to offer because of how they operate, not because of what they may have done in the past or how they have been told to operate. So that would lead to changes in employment systems, changes in recruitment, changes in people who are bringing into the world their own companies and businesses and offerings. Certainly that may expand faster than one would anticipate, just because we are offering really unique things. Then we would move into the community energies, where our connections are going to be about how we're working with other people. Who are we here to meet? Who are we here to work with? Who can we collaborate, and why? And this is so beautiful to me, because it's very much a part of this new world that we're moving towards, where we can intuitively choose who to work with and when, and even how. Boundaries are going to be different within different parts of relationships as well. But whose resources and whose guidance are we listening to? And if the structure has always been done this way, is there another way that we can do it? All very cool and beautiful things. But as one of the stronger forces that we have in the energy lines this year, it also means that what might have been quiet and underground and just talk, or a few connections you've met here and there, are quite likely to manifest into something very joint and forward-facing and community-focused. By community, I mean people who are of the vibration of what you need, for the offerings to have a further reach, but also be really efficient. You know, again, if you've got somebody who has flair for organizing, then they could organize a whole group of people. And if you have people who have a flair for healing, but not for organizing, then they could share that resource. And then we have a better reach. More people get reached. More energy is spent where it's meant to be spent. And somebody might have a booking system they bring in for 100 healers, or knitters, or people who are creative and bringing through art, or people who are wonderful at bringing animals into healing, or into healing places where the animals are part of that healing mediumship space. So it can be coordinated, and the offerings are not only stronger, but they're not weakened by having to be in other states of being, like having to do accounts of things. That may not be where they're supposed to spend the energy. But there's another layer of what makes that strong, and that is that it's reaching people who need to be reached. More and more people are moving away from a belief system that they almost blame themselves or take responsibility in the negative for not being where they want to be in life or where they had hoped to be. And that martyrdom or that pain that can go through people who feel like they are failing or are unsuccessful or are not good enough for whatever reasons. This veil of suppression energy is lifting as well, which is absolutely amazing. And it means that they will be reaching for ways, new ways to think, new ways to engage. So there are ways of people always opening, but there's also ways of people seeking guidance, support, and an understanding of why things have been this way for them and how they can talk to themselves and have a relationship with themselves that is much more loving and powerful and can really step into how else they can be in this world. And for those of you who are listening who are practitioners, healers, readers, mentors, then it's a year where you will be needed. It's just so much more magical if you're working with other people, collaborating, that more people will get support with less effort from the background admin side of things, perhaps. So there's more energy actually being shared for all of you. So that in the community energy for me is just splendid because it really honors what our souls are here to do, and it honors sharing and loving and contributing as well as receiving support and kindness. And if your energy is low, if your manifestations are slow, if there are places in your heart that you're waiting for experiences to reopen, please spend time on receiving, because the more that we can receive, the faster that we are going to open ourselves to what is ready to come. So that can be as simple as we know that when we do gratitude diaries, we are training ourselves to be grateful for what we see. We are acknowledging it. We're training ourselves to notice. And of course, we're receiving that love, that guidance, that appreciation of what's being offered. Let's do it in the social. Let's do it in the heart and the relationship space as well. How are people looking after you? What's 5 things that you would let somebody else do in this world that you'd be willing to receive? And look to the more tried and true versions of how these work. We've got astrology, moon signs, we've got Venus signs. That I love the love languages because they're a beautiful, simple way to work out how you prefer to receive. Ask your friends what's things they've noticed about you. Go back to your family members who knew you were a child and ask them, what did you notice that I really, really liked, and how did you respond to me and why? You'll build up a repertoire of what it is you need and what you're willing and able to receive, or what you used to be willing and able to receive and believe had love energy, and how can you approach that? I won't go into too much detail because I know that there's quite a lot of vlogs on that on YouTube, but it's definitely going to bring in more of these manifestations faster and open you to how you are going to want that to be. So then in summary, we have got a year of fast-paced movement and change. We have got a year of being able to move easily. Isn't that beautiful? In and out of the choice points and the relationship shifts and openings that are coming through, as long as we are taking that time to check what we're feeling and responding to, asking for what we need, allowing ourselves to find a way that has ease in it instead of confrontation or anything with the word should, right? I do believe that when we say you should, I should, we are running a program that we've been given by others in society that we're founded on fears or old belief systems or win-lose energy. So rather than what we should or shouldn't do, which as a society we will consider manners, kindness, politeness, working well together. But when it's about you and your choices and where you want to be in this world, should is something that might cause you to not actually hear an answer about what you do want to feel, need to experience, long to have in your experience in this planet. So ask the question. One of my favorite questions comes from an incredible channeler called Lee Harris, and he often asks us to take time and ask the question, what does my soul want to tell me today? Or in my version, what does my soul want me to know today? Asking that question once a year, once a day, when you are trying to make decisions, and then paying attention. You might write the answer. If you can get a couple of sentences, that's always fine. Certainly if you can get a couple of paragraphs or write a page, you will find that it flows and that it starts to bring an answer you may not have known is there. Or you can let that show in your body. You can feel emotionally or have a physical memory perhaps, or an actual memory come through of something that you have forgotten, that you needed or wanted, or that you need to pay attention to, and see how it comes to you. You know that I do exercises in our mediumship that are similar as well. When you have an ancestor, a loved one, or even a future soulmate, and then you're wanting to talk to them, if you imagine sitting down beside them on a park bench looking at a lake or a river and ask a question. Like, I wonder what they would have to say about this, and see what comes. Your body, your mind, and memory, a thought. See how that they answer that for you in your energy and body. And every time you do it, it becomes clearer. First time it might just be a feeling or response and energy. But ask the questions. So what does my soul want me to tell me today? What would this person want to share with me if they were here right now? What's one thing that I can add to my day that is loving? And hopefully being able to tell the people in your life, when you do this for me, I feel this. But not only do they know it's valued and want to do more of these beautiful, loving things, but when they do it the next time, you're going to receive it twice as much, because they know that it matters to you. You're letting people know how to help you, to love you, to support you, and being willing to put down some of those old self-defense mechanisms of independence so that you can receive, so that you can connect, so that you're willing to be within this beautiful collective consciousness as a contributor when you feel good, when you're happy, when something comes across your path and you receive it, celebrate it, and you see things around that other people are experiencing that are good and you're happy for them, and you wish for more for the collective and yourself. Yes, I would love some of that too. That's amazing. When you have difficult energy and you're reframing that into deserve more than this, in 5 years' time I'm hoping for this. I don't want to have that experience again. Being allowed to acknowledge and shift your focus on what you would rather be having is better. And then finally, those conflict conversations. If there are people in your life and moments in your year, which we will all experience at some point, where you do want to say something to another person that can feel like a conflict. And I say want as in you check the energy and you know that it needs to be done, or it's more loving to let somebody know than to be in that old passive aggressive of just shutting down and walking away or ghosting. Like, love is actually letting people know that there's something that needs doing before you take away their power and choices. In most cases, check the energies. So, beautiful little habit there is to let the people that you know you need these conversations with and to say, here's my topic, when is good, rather than spring it on them. And if you're saying, hey, I really need to have a conversation about how you left the laundry, or you leaving work early, or when you speak to me in a particular tone, what is the thing, the topic? And then can you let me know when it's good? Let them choose. And preferably away from wherever you normally operate in this energy. Away from the house, away from the workplace, away from the club, if it's a social thing. So allowing that to be something you can do because you respect them, because you want them in your life, and because you know that there's a boundary here that one or both of you are missing, and there's a better way. They may be reacting to something you're doing, and you can make an adjustment. You may be reacting to something they're saying because of something that's triggered for you. It's not about them. But we are entitled to speak if it's loving and it's with consent with the other party, right? And I suppose our final option is if it's a kind of conflict where we aren't safe to speak, or they're not in a position or not capable of listening, then just take that the next step up and away from our physical bodies and imagine having a conversation with your guide. Again, this is very, very elaborated on my YouTube channel, but so that you can speak, because you are always entitled to speak, but maybe to their guides, because you're not always entitled to speak to somebody. If you're causing harm, or it will cause harm, it's not quite the same thing as having a right to speak. So keep that right of yours open and alive. Journal, speak to a friend, or speak to their guide, which I find incredibly miraculous in the outcomes. And you can even see by how they're explaining the tools that we're going to be using, the flow and the ease that is going to come from that. So when we're coming up to more universal, confronting, worldwide things, that's another opportunity for you to be paying attention to how your body is responding. What would be better than this? What can you do? How would you like to process this and process it? If you've been told to be upset about something, or something has happened in your family, in the news, in your town, and it's distressing, you want to be allowed to acknowledge that it's distressing. It might be something so big that you want to have some grief work with other people so that you are supporting and sharing something about this, rather than staying in the fear and density and distress. Be allowed to process it, be allowed to send love, be allowed to contribute. When we had major earthquakes here in New Zealand, everyone was able to provide space for some people to come and stay, send a blanket, send some money to the support services. You can do anything. You can do anything that resonates. But it's not wise or healthy to stay in the energy of an event that you are not participating in. It's not in your lifeline. It's not meant to be you this time. So allow yourself to do what you feel resonates in the moment. But bring yourself back into balance. Bring yourself back into something loving. Go and walk under the stars, or hug your pet, or have a cuddle from a dear friend. Bring yourself back into something loving. Your energy in the collective is far more powerful. You can stay in any kind of positive, powerful, light energy. Use your mind. Give yourself time for anything that is dense. You will honor whatever you feel moved towards. Just don't stay there, because it's not helping or healthy. And the faster you move through that, the faster you'll be moving back into your path and your fate lines and the things you're supposed to be spending your energy on, increasing the energy, receiving, being in love, and letting the whole collective benefit from your experience and values increasing around love. It's got to be the reason we're here. So, a year of love of self, a year of finding people who love you and what you do and what you offer. It's exciting to me. And letting those changes that need to occur to release old energies to occur. The fundamental energies over the last 2 or 3 years, which will be in last year's forecast as well, around the finances, economy, a bit more on the innovation and the earth movements around us. Those are all there. they're still moving. It's kind of like a 5-year energy. But these are the higher notes and the new ones for our beautiful 2024. So we're moving forward collectively. We're getting to be ourselves in a whole new way. And these are the areas where the energy empowers us and gives us the ability to not only proceed rapidly, but in quite a joyful and powerful way. Thank you for joining me. So I wish you all the best. And I hope that throughout the year you are reaching for support and finding people to love and who can appreciate and love you. But mostly that you are finding things about yourself that you can love and admire and recognize as very, very special, more important. And it's so important that you're here this time, connecting with the people that you are meant to as we move forward together. Many blessings. Much love, everybody. Bye.
Hi, I'm Rael, and I'm an energy intuitive. I channel information from our guides and ancestors to help us find empowerment, support, and to be able to really walk in our own heart space and love ourselves. Thank you for spending time with me today. If you want more videos like this or access to my regular energy chats, meditations, and intuitive extension work, please go and have a look at my Patreon account. I have my Just Do You annual subscription available if you want to be doing a course-based version where you can work through your own empowerment and connection to your intuition, should that feel like that's going to be part of the solution for you. You have a year's access to the Just Do You seminar, courses, classes, meditations, extension events, and the energy information and sound bites that come through to me through channel and my own experiences working through energy here.